Good morning, this is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts. Welcome back to my channel. So we are here to work some more on the recipe journal or favorite recipes journal. Kind of give it a funny name there, didn't I? But it's because it's for our favorite recipes. So let's see, let's do a double check. Yes, you can hear me because I see it flashing up there. And yes, recording is on. Woohoo! So let's check our time. It is 11:47 a.m. If it was p.m., I'd be dead asleep, believe me. So anyway, I did complete one signature of the journal. I think this one will have 2, maybe 3 signatures, but let me show you what I finally came up with. I did end up cutting all the papers down to the same size, both at the top and the side. I just like it better that way. If you like it different, that's fine. You do it how you like it. So these are the pages I used. I have decided to put coffee dyed paper in them. These papers are either from Carol Lane's Creates or Triple V Vintage. So one of the two. I'm not sure which one. I think this might be Carol Lane's. So anyway, every other sheet is a coffee dyed paper. So let's see how many we have in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have only put 11 in the first signature. Now, like I told you before, I may end up doing 4 signatures. It just depends on the amount of favorite recipes I have. The idea behind this book for me is that I can put my favorite recipes in there from family members or friends without turning it into a giant, fuzzy, fluffy journal. Because I don't want to hurt my recipes. Some of them are really old and I don't want to ruin the papers that they're on. And I want to be able to put the original in here or at least make a copy of it and put it in here. But I'd love to put the old ones in here. So anyway, 11 sheets of paper is all I'm using. My sheets are 8.5 by 11, but I have cut them down to fit. So the length on these, because I ordered them from another country, from somebody that lives in Germany or the Netherlands, one of the both, or both, the paper ends up being 8 5/16. So yours could be 8.5, and that's fine. That's normally what I do. And they are the top 5.5 inches. But because when you put these all together, they start coming out a little bit. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Some of them are shorter as you get inside. Okay? So if you want to cut them off, you can do that to make them. Otherwise, they just kind of slowly push out. Okay, so there is that. Now, yesterday we made 2 belly bands, and these are like a faux pocket because I made them so that as they're belly banded on, you can open them up and put a recipe in here. And this one looks like this. Now this one is kind of tricky. It opens up like this and you can write on the whole inside. And it is also a belly band. And the reason I call them faux pockets is because there's little slots here. And you open it and they're not really pockets. And this one, because it opens up kind of like a letter, but inside it doesn't hold the letter, it holds a recipe. So there's that. Now today we're going to make pockets. I saw Gail Augustinelli this morning making pockets, and I can't remember who she said originally made the pocket. But I'm going to make one similar, but I'm going to make it a little bit wider so that it will hold a recipe card. So let me get out a recipe card of the right size. If I can find one without peeking here. And these I'm talking about are just this size. These are the old style, you know, where they're 3 by 5s. Because this is what I have a number of, is that size. Where did my recipes go? Oh, they're back here. Here's, I brought along 4. Pearls and chocolate cookies. See, and that's a 3 by 5 card. Gingerbread boys, Grandma Warren's salad, and M&M cookies. I can't seem to find a bunch of my really old recipes. So I want this pocket to be able to hold one of these, and maybe a second one. You know me, I like to add more stuff. So I found this paper. This is by Photoplay, and it's called Chicken Coop. This paper is. And this one is called Apron Strings. I got them in a free box of things. I thought this would be a very pretty one to go with this. I think that it matches a lot of the antique or vintage feel. Here's some plates and spoons and forks. And then there is this packet. It's mostly coffee, and it is by Echo Park. But I love this one. This is very pretty. And so that is a definite keeper. Now this is back to Photoplay. And it has a lot of these cards on it that might work good. This one here is Cartabella, and it's Country Kitchen. So it's got a really great garden theme. This one I thought would be a good one. It's a very thick and heavy paper, and I thought this one would be good. Then there's this. This is also by Cartabella, and it's also the Country Kitchen collection. It is a nice old feel, too. Look at all those old stoves on there. This is Authentique, and it is Micro Basics Collection, a light teal check. Isn't that beautiful? That would be perfect. Then here's this red small dot, and it is by Coordinations. This one's by Cartabella. It is Our House, and I love, 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 love this one. I do. So since it's Our House, it has other household items in it, like a kitty cat and butterflies that you'd find in your garden, and more flowers. This one would go well. So I'm just bringing these along to help me cut some heavy-duty pockets. This is another good one. And this one I think is very good too. Now we won't use them all, but they're here. And this is the sticker thing that comes with it. So these will be nice for ephemera if we use them. And this is the little journaling card ephemera sheet. And this would be a very good recipe card, wouldn't it? And this apple pie one, isn't that cool? Very, very cool. Okay, so let's start with this one right here. And we are going to make some pockets. Okay. So first we want to take off this bottom part. And this looks like we have a little saver piece on it. Let me put this up here. And let me back you out a little bit. And we'll cut that piece off. Okay, now we know that this pocket needs to be at least this wide because we're going to glue it, but we know we can't go any more than 5.5 inches. So let's cut this at 5.5 inches. Well, actually, you know what? I think we'll cut it at 5.5, and then if we take 1/4 and 1/4, that'll break down. Okay, cut it at 6 inches. Am I doing this right? I don't know. We don't know yet, do we? Okay, if we go 6 inches, then we need to fold it up, what did I say, 3? So we want to fold it up by at least 3 1/8 of an inch. So get your scoring board, and from the bottom, we're going to come over 3 1/8 inch and make a score line. 3 1/8. Right there. So that is going to, oh dear, I put it upside down. But will this be right side up? No. So we need to go from this side. 3 1/8. 3 1/8. Sorry about that. There, now it's correct. Then this is going to fold over. So we need to score it again at 3 1/4 from the folded edge. Okay, so you can score at 3 1/8 and 6 5/8, and that'll give you the correct lines. So this is going to give us a nice little pocket here with a fold over. So let's go ahead and cut this one off at 3 1/8 from the other end. Okay, so let's cut that off. I think I'll put it on my cutter here. I'm going to cut it a little above that line that I scored, or my original score line. So now we have this. Now let's take a look at it with our page because it is going to be too big. So you're thinking, what's Angela up to? Well, what I want to do is bring this in. I'm going to score it at a 1/2 inch on this side and 1/2 inch on this side. 1/2. Forgive me, I am a little bit mixed up this morning. That's a 1/2, and that's a 1/2. Okay. So we're going to score it at more like a 1/4 and a 1/4. Would that bring it in enough? 1/4 and a 1/4 is a 1/2. So that won't work. Let's score it at 3/8 and 3/8. So we're going to score down this way, 3/8 and 3/8. So here is 1/8, 1/4, 3/8. Scored at 3/8 on this side. Flip it over and scored at 3/8 on this side. 3/8 is not quite a 1/2, so that should do us. Okay, now what you want to do is we're going to cut this right here at just a little angle. Where the score is, we're going to cut it this way and this way. Now this is a variance from how Gail did hers this morning. Okay, so now we have that part, which is the front, the pocket, and the back. Now, on this top part that looks upside down right now, we are going to once again cut this at this angle from the bottom. And then we're going to cut this piece off. And I cut just this side of the little scoring bump. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Cut it down to where the fold is. And then I'm just going to give it a little angle cut right there. Okay, so now we have this flap, and those. So what are we going to do with those? Well, I'm going to show you. Okay, so let's see. Okay, getting this card facing the right direction. I do want to round these corners before I quit on it. Okay, so the back pocket. Turn it over so that you can fold the back pocket flaps inward. There we go. Now, see we have that folded in? Now let's bring this up. Where these folds are, we're going to fold those in. Excuse me. My throat has a horse in it. A horse, of course. Okay, we still need to angle cut those on the pocket there. Just to neaten it up. And we are going to glue this part down. That, I hope, left us enough room for our 3x5 card. We'll find out. It might be that we have to trim down our 3x5 a little bit. I hope not, but... Excuse me. I don't have a water in here with me, so kind of a okay. Now you don't have to worry as much if you don't have a pattern that needs to go a certain direction. I just ended up with a pattern piece. Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so now we have our pocket and our flap and our back pocket. So let's round up our corners here, if we can find our corner rounder, which I know is here. And I think I'm going to do a 1/2 inch round. There we go. Now on Gail's card, she put an extra piece of paper back here, and she didn't have all these extra flaps. And it folded over, and it was a journaling card that folded over. But ours is just going to be a recipe card holder. So now we have that, but I think it's probably going to need, yeah, it's going to need something to hold it down. Because look at that, it's a floppy one. Not sloppy, but floppy. So I think probably we better make a little circle or do another little tuck spot so that we don't have all the bulk. So let's do a tuck spot and we can give up the bulk that way. So I have this, and if I cut it out of this same paper, what did I do with it? Don't know. Oh, it's under here. If we cut it out of this same paper, that would be upside down, and that would be upside down. Let's find these. If we cut it out of this and fold it over, and we attach it here, then all we need right here is a little thing for it to tuck into here. So let's give this a little vintage fill. And let's find our center point. See, it's 5 1/4 inches. So my center is right about 1, 2, right about there. I don't know if that's exactly correct, but I think it is pretty correct. Oh, we better do up the front. And I forgot to do this part with, so we'll see if I can sneak that in there. Okay, so in about the center, we want to make a little thumb hole. It's going to be right about in there. Doesn't have to be very much. It's just so that we know that we have to reach in to get our 3x5 card. Let's see if it fits, huh? Perfect fit. Look at that. The reason it fits so nicely is because we went ahead and made a fold over there to make this so it opens up nicer. Okay, now right here, I know why this is not folding correctly, is because it needs to be clipped right here to right there. And that one looks okay over there. Yep, that feels better. And then I see a little piece just kind of hanging off the side over there, so I'm going to trim that off. Okay, now let's apply this piece. Now if you wanted, you could apply the little twisty ring things, the little circles. The only reason I'm opting not to do that this time is because I'm trying to keep it as flat as possible. And I have to keep that in my mind. So if you hear me say it a lot, I'm saying it because I need to remember it. Otherwise, I'll go hog wild. Hog wild! And we still have a piece of paper left over. So I guess we'll just use one of these on here. And we have a choice. We can make a fold up flap there, or we can just make a tuck flap. Let's make a tuck flap that takes up the whole base of it here. That way there's no starting or stopping point of it. It just goes. It just works. So I'm going to cut this scoring line off that I did over here. And then I'm going to come down a little ways. Maybe pick up a couple pies in the process. Let's see if it's too big or too small. Okay. And I want to go from side to side and cut it off right there at the edge. So let me trim that off with my trimmer. And I will go ahead and ink it up because I kind of want to know that it's there. Now, I don't know if you read into my description box, but I have started an Etsy group, or sorry, a Facebook group, Dogwood Paper Arts group. I have a page where just I advertise my stuff. And then if you go up at the top, it says group. And if you go to the group, you can sign up there. And I right now have 2 free JPEGs of some images that I made and some that I enhanced from a copyright domain free area. And you are welcome to download those 2 and not sell them, but use them for your own personal use. Or, you know, it's just for personal use because I'm not making anything on them. Just my time. So but they will have something to do with recipes right now, something to do with a cookbook maybe, you know, something like that. And that's what I'll be doing with the freebies on there. Okay, so here we have our first card. So let's take a look at it in our book. Oh, good. It'll fit right over here. Now, because we've put these on it, that's going to give whatever we insert in there a little space. But remember, you'll have to glue along here and the bottom and along here. And then you will have a space here for a recipe, or maybe a letter from Aunt Jane sending you a recipe. And then right here, you will have a little recipe card pocket. So we have time. Let's make another one of those. I would like to make 2 of these, at least 2 of these per signature. So I can have one in the front and one in the back. And we'll be thinking of other recipe card ones that we can do. I should have wrote my measurements down. I did not. So, what's a girl to do? This should be 6 inches. Yep, we have our 6 inches because I've already cut this one. I cut it in half, a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I cut it down to 6 inches by 12 inches. And so we need our scoring board. And I'll hopefully score it right this time. So, from this top, because we want this to fold over and be upright, we score over, what was it? 3 1/4 of an inch. Yes, 3 1/4. And then we need to score this piece, and it was ended up at 5 3/4, I guess. Oh, yeah, 5 3/4. And then, oh no, that's not right. That is wrong. This goes up to 6 1/2. Sorry about that. 3 1/4. Right. This needs to go 3 1/2 from the fold. Sorry. 3 1/2 from the fold, or 3 1/4 and 6 3/4. So forget that little one I've scored in there. And this folds down. And then we end up with this extra piece. Now this piece is only 2 1/2 inches. So from this edge, score it at 2 1/2. So I can give you the full deal now. 3 1/4, 6 3/4, and 9 and, is it 1/4? 9 1/4. Okay, so we have that. That score line there, that's the one you're going to cut off. Sometimes I score them and then I can just cut them with my scissors. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this one with my rotary, my blade cutter here. There we go. There we go. Okay, I want to round those corners, and I'm doing a 1/2 inch round. Now, if you don't want it to be the same way, we can just flip this around the other direction if we want. Put it this way and put this on the inside. But that's not what I want. I love, 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 love this design. Okay. Now, turn it this way. So we have this side and that side. And we're scoring it at 3/8. 1, 2, 3. 3/8. I shouldn't have rounded the corners yet. And 3/8. Because I'll have to go back and round them. That's why I'm telling you that. Okay. Little scissors. Okay, angle cut here and here. Go ahead and give this one an angle cut too, so when it folds up it's correct. And here. And cut the little V out here. And then we need a little angle cut here. And then we cut that little piece off up there. See, I'm going to have to re-round that. Same way over here. I'm just going to flip mine over. There we go. Now I can see that I cut that angle wrong, just like I did last time, which leaves an extra little piece there that we don't need. Okay, on the center pocket, that's going to get folded in. And this is going to get folded in. And then this one is going to fold in on the top flap, the front pocket. So there we go. We did it. Yay! Okay, once again, I'm going to corner round 1/2 inch. I get ahead of myself. I'm sorry, because it's easy to do when you're doing this. Okay, so now we need to cut another one of these. And you can use any kind of cutter that you have to make yours. It does not have to be the same as this one. Or you can make a tab. Any tab will do ya. And let's see, let's go around that. With a little bit of ink. I'll try not to over ink, but you know me. Ink, ink, ink. Inking fast. Oh, now around here. Center, we need to use our little bit of a slice there. Just a thumb hole. Right along the bottom, along the sides, right here. There's always so much to ink up, isn't there? A little bit on the inside. And let's see, oh, the outside. We gotta finish the outside. The top. And the flap. Which is what I intended to ink first. Okay. About the center of this is probably right about here. I'm just guessing. But if you want to be exact, just measure it. It's what, 5 1/4? So if we divide that between there and there, then we have 1, 2, 1, 2, and 5. So it is right about where I thought it was. Right about there. And I'm just measuring it on numbers down here. I'm not starting it off at 1 or anything. I just put it between some numbers, some even numbers, and went from there. I am no great math person. Is for sure. Yeah, see, it's off already. Okay, so we have that off to the side a little bit and a little bit crooked. But that's okay. It can be off to the side. You can kind of fix those up with... Oh no, look what I did. I pulled it off. Oh, geez, Ange. So how do we fix that? Well, we come back over here and we say, let's put you to work. Because I really don't want to make a whole new one. I guess what we could do is take that top flap off of this one and leave it as just this pocket. So let's do that. If there's a mistake that happens, it happens. I was trying to readjust that and it was glued down, and art glitter glue holds pretty fast. So this extra flap that we have up here, let's cut that one off. There we go. Hopefully I did it at the right size. So we need to think about that. What can we do there to make that look better? Well, let's ink it first. And let's see. What do we have that we can make it look better? I mean, it still looks like a recipe card index. Or recipe card holder. Okay. Perfect. But it needs, I guess when we put this down, maybe we'll have to put some lace there or something. What could we put there? Let's see. We do have some of this. What if we did this? What if? Now this is just trying something. I don't know if it'll work. If we went to 1 inch and 1/2 inch. This is where I went 1 inch and I'm going to cut that 1 inch off. See? I'm going to cut that little piece of flap off the back. There we go. I'm going to fold that over. What if we did something like that and glued that on? I mean, you could make a new flap and glue it on there. There's no doubt about that. We could do that too. Okay, let's try that. Let's go down here. Score this at 1/2 inch. And then we would need to cut it off right here. That is one thing for sure with me you're going to get is, oops, now what? I need to fix it. Because, you know, I don't do things perfectly, and there's always a fix. Okay, so now we have our back flap. Just to make it better in the pocket, cut that angle off right there, and then right there. Okay, so let's take this, and you can either glue it to the inside. No, that won't work. Glue it, and we want it to line up on the front. Okay, we'll just glue it down right there. Okay. Not that way, Angela. Okay, you still want it to fit on the front of the envelope the right way. What am I doing? There it is. Boy, I turned that around, now I can't fix it. Okay, what I mean to say is you want to line this up with the top as best as you can. Hold that down, fold this out, and then glue it down. And you're going to want to burnish that as good as you can, because you don't want it to interfere with any recipe or piece of ephemera that ends up in this back pocket. Okay, there is a fix. Make sure you get all your glue off. And because the paper matches, it's not bad along that seam there. But to fix it back up, we'll go back over it. There we go. And then we'll redo our 1/2 inch again. And I'll slow down a little bit. Gotta remember, if I hurry, I'll make mistakes. And making mistakes makes more time. That's all there is to it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down so I'll have a better idea of my very important tab and where it needs to be. Okay, now let's find that tab maker again, and here it is. Fold that over evenly. Not like I was doing, and doing it in a giant hurry. So is there kitchen ephemera that you guys collect? I am a collector of, I love butter churns, and I have a couple of those. I used to collect the old washboards. It's laundry ephemera. But I don't do that anymore. I got rid of my collection of that. I do collect tons of buttons. The other thing I like to collect is rolling pins. And I have lots of rolling pins. Okay, so we're going to go right about there, evenly. Okay. Now let's make a tab holder for that. And we're going to make it out of that broken piece. It's going to be the right length, that's for sure. So you'll need your cutter again. If we can possibly line it up on there. I think I went right about there. Okay. So really, depending on how many signatures you have, like I said, I want to make 2 of these per signature. So I could have one made out of this kind of paper in each one, or I could have 2 of the same in each one. It's kind of up to you how you want to do it. So I'm going to glue parts of this down on each side. And there we go. So just a little bit on each side, probably maybe almost an inch on each side. Now you could go closer to the center tab if you want. Okay, so there we go. We have 2 of them made. See? So those will go on our page like this. We'll glue down here, here, and here, and they'll go on like this, close to the edge, because this is going to be where things are starting to bulk up. Looks like I made this one smaller. So there we go. So 2 per signature. If you have 3 signatures, you need a total of 6 of these. Okay, so I will make mine off camera and you'll make yours off camera, and we'll get back together next time to make a couple of tuck spots that will go opposite the belly bands. So the belly bands will be back here on page 10, and these will be up here on page 2, the tuck areas. And we're going to make a side tuck that comes down the side of the page, and we're going to make it out of ephemera. So you'll need ephemera for your next move, and you can take a look down below in the description box to see all the places that I bought ephemera from. And so we'll be using a piece of cardstock. It can be just a plain piece if you want. It can be anything that matches your journal. And then we're going to add ephemera to it and make it into a nice little side tuck like this. But hopefully it'll be long enough that, you know, anyway, you'll see when we get there. But so that's what you'll need for next time. Piece of cardstock and some ephemera, your glue, your scissors. You probably won't need a tab thing next time, but bring along your pencil. You might have to mark something. And your ink, your pencil, and your ink, and your dauber, and your glue. And I guess that's it. So this pocket, the second pocket I made, is taller too. It really does not matter how big they are or how small they are. Maybe this one I didn't make tall enough after we had to slice some stuff off. Yeah, it's fine. This one's just a little bit bigger, I guess. Yeah, about a ½ inch bigger. But that's okay, you know. That works out just fine. Okay, well, join me next time. We're slowly gathering ephemera and pockets, so I will see you next time on As the World Turns. No, it's not As the World Turns. There we go. Ta-da! And if we put this like this, we'll know that's a recipe place. Woohoo! See y'all later. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. I will see you later. Bye.